G'day, I'm Glenn Morris from the Smart Energy Lab, and today I got this thing. Whoa, the RedX all-in-one UPS system. It's not what you think it is. It looks a bit like something else, doesn't it? Are you right? But actually, it's a portable power station, not the little cute ones that you take camping, though if you've got a big caravan, you would take this camping with you. But this basically can be charged up off the grid, unplugged, take it with you. You can charge it from solar, you can charge it from wind. It's got everything. It's got 2 AC outputs, and we'll look at the specs in a minute. But I've just done the unboxing, feeling a bit hot and sweaty because it's quite heavy, but really it's a two-person unboxing experience on a trolley, a piece of cake to move. It's actually got feet which are spaced perfectly for the standard trolleys that you move stuff around with. I've got one out the back there. But let's have a look what was in the box. Now, you might have seen me taking them out of the box quite quickly, but the first thing that caught my eye was this. Now, at this point, I know nothing about this product, so I'm curious what this box is. It looks like some sort of combiner. It's got an DC in and DC out. It's got some solar plugs on either end of it, so that's kind of interesting. But look at this. This is going to connect 4 male and 4 female to what would be the DC in. So I guess you can put 4 panels on this unit. Once again, that would make you the hero of the caravan park or your local neighborhood if you wanted a portable power station. Now, the thing is, a lot of people don't own the property that they live in, they're renting, and so they don't have access to those fixed, permanently installed systems. But something like this, you can take it with you. You can take your washing machine, you can take your portable power station. So good work, RedX. So came with a PowerPoint, power cord, basically a standard Australian plug and your kettle type connector, which has got a mating point on the side. Also have a blanking plug that you can blank it off so no dust and dirt can get in there. That's really nice. It's got some extra connectors here if you need to make up your own connectors for input, such as for wind. Now, that's really interesting. I've got to learn more about that one. It's got the usual, which I call lolly bag here, which is for mounting the system. Now, you can install it on a wall, so it is quite heavy and you don't want to tip over onto children, so you would want to fit it onto a wall. So it comes with a mounting bracket like this with lots of screw hole positions, and you can clip that unit onto it. It's really quite an easy two-person lift because it's got handles on both sides. We've got some blanking plugs for any terminations that we're not using. These look like DC blanks for these plugs here, so if they get dust or anything into it. There's some little earthing terminals as well. Got to learn what those are for. And on top of all that, we've got the user documentation. It looks pretty substantial. Let's get into it. So we've got the mobile app installer manual. Okay, I'll look at that in a minute. We've got the unit, by the way, is called the RX 2505. The RX 2505 PU. And it's an all-in-one energy storage system, uninterruptible power system. It's got some QR codes on the back. We'll look at that in a minute. And here we've got, woohoo, this is looking like a reference guide. Yep, there's a little reference guide here. Okay, so nice little reference guide and a user manual. Wow, so far, lots of documentation. Now, what's this big piece of paper here? The RedX Power App User Manual. So, several user manuals. Installer manual. And I'm imagining if this is not requiring any LV work, this is self-installed, and a RX series all-in-one user manual as well. So I've got a bit of reading to do to find out more about this system. So I'll come back to you once I've read the manuals, and then we'll get it going. Okay, well, I'm a bit impatient. I thought I'd go straight to this document here just to find out about it. And what do you know, on the very first page, it tells me the 5 steps to get it going. Step 1, connect to the grid, if available. and connect PV or wind to DC1 and DC2. So you've got two DC inputs. One can be used for wind, one can be used for PV. Step 2, turn on the battery isolation circuit breaker. Well, that's pretty easy. Step 3, turn on the power button. Step 4, download the RedX app and follow the instructions. There's a whole separate little user manual for the app here. So I haven't read that yet, but it's going to take me through setting the app up. So this is pretty exciting. This has got a lot of features for what is really, from what many people would think of it as just a portable power station, but it's smart. It can take PV and wind. It's big. I imagine. Well, that was pretty easy. Straight away, the LED display for the battery lights up, and it's got a capacity bar graph showing you how much is in the tank. So at the moment it's empty, which is pretty typical when shipping a product like a lithium-ion battery. For safety reasons, they're often almost fully discharged, about 15% state of charge typically, and this one now needs to be charged up. So I'm going to leave it till it's charged up, and then we'll come back and run it through its paces. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to do the app setup without knowing anything about it at all. I've not even read the manual. So got my phone here. I'm just going to set it up on the phone. So starting with the RedX Power instructions for the app, which is step number 5 in the installation process. First up, we're going to open it, and we've got a QR code here. So of course, do the usual thing, scan the QR code. Isn't life simple? Everything's a QR code. Takes me straight to the RedX app in the iOS store. I assume it's it's in Google Play as well, so it works in both. So let's grab the app and download it. All right, it's downloading now. It's giving a little bit of screenshots showing what information it provides you with on the front here. Things like the power flow on the unit, support even, whether there's any alarms, and you can set up an account and register so it's actually set up for your particular application. Now I've got this unit plugged in and I've got a little power meter here. So here's the power meter measuring the power. Now I don't think it's charging yet, so that could be because I've got to actually configure the app. It's using 9.4 watts. And the AC power light is on, but the charge light's not on, and the battery just seems to be sitting there. So let's go back to the app. Open the app, and it wants me to create an installer account straight up. So I'll run through setting up. Like I said, I've never done this before. Welcome to the RedX Install Accreditation page. The following pages, you'll see materials and diagrams for the RedX products. Okay, blah, blah. Go to the installation diagram. So it actually gives me a diagram showing me how to install the unit. Now this would be if it's a permanent installation. In the case of this unit here, it's a plug-in, plug-in I guess, unit, and it's just showing where you can connect outlets to it. It's actually showing a multi outlet box plugged into one of the 2 AC ports outlets on the unit. So I'm going to go forward and go to the installation video. What do you know? I'm going to be put out of a job by these guys. They've actually done an installation video. That's so cool. All right, I wonder if I can skip through that. I should be watching the whole installation video, but I'm a bit impatient and I've skipped through that. And now I want to see how I set the app up itself. So press done. And, I forgot to create the account. So I've got to create the account. Okay. Go to the installation video, go to the quiz. Now, well, this is really good. There's actually a quiz to make sure that I did, actually watch the installation video. These guys are good. This is what you would expect from any sort of competence-based training, is some evidence that you actually learnt some skills as part of that training. And so the quiz here says things like, when installing, and I'll go to the right one, the RX2505PU, the IEC plug must be attached to, and there's 3 choices. The chassis nearby, the 240 volt in port using a cord, the customer's house, not used and discarded. Right, okay, I think we're going to use the IEC plug. Question number 3, when installing, and there's a different model there, back to the PU, installing the RX 2505 PU in off-grid mode, the IEC plug is inserted into the customer's appliance port, inserted into an RCD extension lead, inserted into a 240 volt in port on the RX 250 5 PU. Wow, I think I better do this properly and watch the installation video. So hats off, but it is taking me through to a submit button, and presumably once I pass the quiz, I can then register. So just going to try. There it says I tried to submit it. The questions in red are not answered correctly, and I can't progress. So I'm not going to answer them now because you're not supposed to see the answers. You've got to actually watch the installation video yourself. So that's pretty exciting. I'm already very impressed with what RedX have done, both with the hardware, the design of the hardware. It's transportable. It's very easy to move around on a tilt trolley. 5 steps to install it. Basically, the 5th one is actually watch the video through the app. And I'm very excited by the possibility of connecting what looks like parallel connections of up to 4 modules. So we'll see how that goes. You enjoying learning with me? Let's go to the next step. After I've done the quiz, we can progress from here. Here in the lab, I've got a product that is really quite unique, and it's from a company called RedX. So this unit here. So this looks like, well, you know, kind of an energy storage device, right? But actually, it's a very unusual product. It's energy storage, it's backup. It's also hybrid, meaning it can use multiple sources of energy. So it can use the grid to charge its battery. It can use PV or even wind to charge its battery. So this is the unit from RedX, which really is, as far as I've seen, one of a kind. You could almost call it the biggest portable power station you've ever seen with wind and solar inputs. The numbers on this are simple. It's a 2.5 kilowatt inverter with 4.8 kilowatt hours of storage. So that's a lot for a portable unit, and it is portable. It's got handles on the side here which allow you to pick it up and take it for a lift. You can charge it from the grid, so you can plug in to the kettle plug here, just a normal AC supply, and use grid power. And it tells you what it's doing here, the capacity of the battery and what the sources are, whether it's AC source, grid source, whether it's charging, and whether the output AC is on. So, who would want a unit like this? Well, perfect for tiny homes. It's small enough and very compact to fit into a tiny home. If you're a renter, for instance, this is something you can take with you. And it's designed for really only 1 or 2 panels. In fact, 1 panel at a time. And they're connected via these devices, MPPTs. So every panel has its own dedicated MPPT, and they're all in parallel. So there's a paralleling cable that parallels up to 4 panels into one input of the RedX unit. So a portable power station, great for renters, great for tiny homes, great for a weekender even. There you go. So thanks RedX for sending it to me and checking it out.